Thank you so much, guys. Let's shift the conversation slightly now from renting to owning. Whether you are newlywed, ready to extend your portfolio, maybe extend your family, simply taking that leap, nothing beats the feeling of buying a new home. Even thinking about it gets me really excited. So whilst it's one of the biggest milestones, I think, in our lives, it's also a massive financial undertaking that requires a lot of thought, planning, and honesty. And here to guide us through this exciting home loan process is Xoli Ndwandwe, Nedbank's head of affordable housing home loans. Xoli, welcome.
Good morning.
This is, I get nervous and excited at the same time when we're talking about buying a house. It is probably one of, if not the biggest financial decision most of us will make in our lives.
It certainly is, and it's something that should not be taken lightly. You are making a big commitment, and it should be treated as such.
Area, location, that's obviously going to be like the big consideration, and how much we can afford. How do you start that internal dialogue of working out your budget?
So you're quite right, location, nothing has changed there. But we normally say to potential buyers, you need to do the internal work first. Start with your own budget. Figure out how much it is that you can realistically afford to put out there towards monthly repayments. And we typically say you must be able to draw a scenario. This is my income, these are my debt commitments, and these are my casual living expenditure. I'm left with 3,000 rands, for example. If you're left with 3,000 rands, you should typically be able to buy a house where you will buy for 300,000. Now, the key thing, if you go to the Nedbank Instant Bond Indicator, it tells you exactly whether you are good to go, because there is still the credit that we need to consider. So you use that tool, it tells you if you're good for the 300,000 that you want to buy for.
Having a good credit score, essential. The better your credit score in so many areas of life, it really can help you in dealing with your financial partners. How do we check our credit score, and how do we go about fostering a good, healthy credit outlook?
So a very quick one, because a lot of people don't know what that is. So I typically say to people, as you go about your day-to-day transaction, borrowing money, paying that money, spending, you are leaving a footprint on the bureau. It contributes towards your credit score. When a bank now wants to lend you money, they want to get a sense of, are you someone who tends to repay their debt if they've been borrowed money? And the good indicator for that is a credit score. It's very important. Guard it with your life.
You need it.
New innovations now, they even look at your rental behavior. You guys were talking about rental earlier, where they look at the bureau, where they record rental payments and say, does this person honor their commitments? So go to the credit bureaus, big ones, Experian, TransUnion, XDS, get a sense of what your score look like, and do not mess it up.
Because it's with you for life. It's like a passport, like an ID document. What are some of the hidden costs? Because I think we all have heard horror stories around that house buying process where people don't take into account something, and then suddenly there's additional costs that they didn't possibly budget for. What are some of the possible hidden costs that could emerge during the home buying process?
So, Graham, there definitely are costs, but good news for South Africans. I don't know if you'd listened to the minister's budget speech last week. He was actually like Father Christmas. So, for example, he announced that for people that want to buy for 1 million rands and below, they will not pay an estate duty. So typically there are 4 kinds of costs that are involved when you buy a property. One is the estate duty, so you pay that to the receiver of revenue. It's got nothing to do with the banks or the attorneys. It's just the tax that you pay.
And would that be over and above that? Is that worked into the finance of the home, or is that over and above? Is that a cost that will emerge after you've worked out the cost of your bond, or will it be factored into the money that you are essentially borrowing? Where is that money going to come from?
So you found a house. The house costs 1 million rands. So that's just the value of the house. The seller wants that, nothing less. But over and above that, SARS would then say you are buying for 1 million rands. This is the tax we want. Now, it's 0 for 1 million and below since the budget speech. It's over and above. The second set of costs are the costs that you pay to the attorneys. You get attorneys that transfer the property from my name, I'm the seller, to you. That's the transfer cost. The third one, it's the bond registration fees. Now, when Nedbank or any bank for that matter registers a bond in your name, they charge for that service as well. The final one, it's initiation fees. Now, for first-time home buyers, we normally say to them, it's recommended that you work out your budget and you save a little bit to cover some of these costs as well, especially because the more you borrow, the more interest you pay, and you certainly don't want to overcommit yourself and pay interest where you would have otherwise been able to save for. So a deposit really does help.
You're making the process easier for me as we're speaking right here, but maybe you can
I'm glad.
You can expand a little bit, because I'm thinking about buying a new home over the next couple of years. So these are all questions that I really need to answer myself. How are you guys at Nedbank? Because you're speaking obviously with great authority here as a homeowner yourself.
Absolutely.
But you work in a watershed space within Nedbank. How is your company, how is Nedbank making it more accessible, making it easier for us to go through the home loan process?
I'm glad you're thinking about it, and help is at hand. So one of the things that we do in the first-time home buyer space, one is to offer that hand-holding service, because you were saying earlier, it's potentially the biggest decision that most of us, financial decision one of us will ever make. So we offer a hand-holding service where we allocate a home loan sales consultant who works with you. They will go as far as filling in the application form with you sitting right there, because they need to guide you through the income, the living expenses, the rest of your contractual debts, and they need to help you, put you in contact with the relevant players in the market to get the right property. So we do that, but that's not it. We also have a recently launched initiative where we give cash back to any first-time home buyers who earn 25,400 and below. It's cash back paid into your Nedbank account upon registration of your property. We also try to make the cost we're talking about a little bit more bearable. We give a 50% discount to the attorney bond registration fee that I spoke about a little bit earlier. So obviously, Minister Tito Mbowene's zero tax for 1 million and below also does come into the equation. Those are all the things that have been put in place to assist your first-time home buyers gain access into the property market and make it a little bit more bearable.
I love it. You're like one of Tito's elves, helping spread that Christmas joy. Thank you so much. You've simplified a lot of things that I think many of us find a little bit daunting, but the bottom line is it can be one of the best times of your life as well. Nedbank are taking the hassle out of home loans, making your dream of becoming a homeowner just that much easier. And for more information, you can visit nedbank.co.za/home loans. And plus, Nedbank will also be at the Property Buyer Show taking place on the 21st and 22nd of March. It's a big one. It'll be happening at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. You can chat to experts firsthand and get some great advice. They can answer all of your questions. Thanks for answering all of my questions. I feel a lot more confident and more excited about buying home. You can ponder your dream location as we take a quick break. We'll chat to you now.